Okay, today I'm going to be taking a look at MediaTakeout.com, which is a blog slash celebrity gossip site comparable to websites like PerezHilton.com and TMZ.com. Basically, the site just talks about celebrity gossip and things that are going on in the media, but they also throw in a couple of stories about politics and random things that they find interesting. As you can see, the site layout is pretty simple. It's got basically a black and white theme. They don't really have too much color except for the pictures that they add to their stories. There's only a few options. You can have the home button up there, forum, they have archives, and then account information for when you have an account to make comments on the stories. They have all that at the top along with their logo, which is really the only design that's going on in the site. And if you look, the way that it follows is they start out with their main story, all in capital letters, and you have to click on it to actually read the story. This is just a thumbnail, basically. And then as it goes on, they list more stories, but only the top 3 stories have pictures and along with their headings. The other ones are all just a long list. Most of them are in all capital letters, the stories, and some of them have very blatant spelling errors and things like this, grammatical errors. Also, it's really distracting if you look in the middle of the 2 of the top 3 stories, the second and third, there's an advertisement right in the middle, which would be fine if that's how the normal setting was, but sometimes you will see the advertisements on the left side, sometimes on the right, sometimes in the middle, and sometimes just all over the place, so it's a little chaotic. As well as the stories being chaotic because they're all just listed straight down and they don't have pictures with them or anything else. They're just a long list of stories in red print. Sometimes the stories will be in black print, however, which means that you're going to an outside source that Media Takeout did not write. So if they link you to an outside source, you'll get this box, which lets you know that you're still technically in MediaTakeout.com, and then they'll add an advertisement also right underneath it. So while you're reading this source that they link you to, you will also be looking at advertisements for their site. So Media Takeout also has advertisements within stories once you click on a heading for their social media and social networking sites that they use. They have a button for Facebook and for Twitter, so you can contact them on Facebook and Twitter, or so you can tweet or write about on your Facebook the stories that they have added. They have comments on each of the stories and underneath all of the pictures where anybody can make an account and comment to say what they think about the story, which is kind of a cool idea, but they unfortunately do not keep up with it very well. So a lot of what you see, a lot of the posting is advertising posting. You'll see websites for various websites, various products, various dating services, all kinds of things that you wouldn't normally expect to find maybe in a comment section. But the first few are usually people who either sit at their computers to keep these links going up, or they have maybe bots that they set up and do this automatically for them so that their link shows up at the top of the comments so people read them. So if you click under the forum button underneath their main icon on the first page, you can see a forum about the news stories, which is a little confusing because the stories don't necessarily link up with what the main news stories of the day were. So you can get various news stories and people chatting about them in this forum, which again has a really simple layout. You just see the name of the story and then how many comments it has. There's no pictures, and it's really a very bare bones sort of setup. Here is just another example of how the ads are crazy. Sometimes they'll be at the top, in the middle, on the side, and sometimes they will just split a story and its picture in half, so you won't know where the picture is connected to. But this actual page is for the archived articles, which may be the most chaotic of all of the pages on the website because they don't have any particular order. These are all just listed, just like the main page, only they're not by date. So some of these are from 2 days ago, some are from a week ago, and they're just sort of thrown on this page and there's no logical order to them. They do have a search button at the top through Google. It's a Google search. So if you have a keyword that you're looking for or a particular article, you can look for it there. So just to compare, this is a comparable gossip website, maybe, well, definitely more well-known, PerezHilton.com, and you can see right away the differences between just the design of the two sites. Perez Hilton is colorful, has pictures and icons, has a side link for videos, and doesn't have a whole lot of advertising. When they do have advertising, it's usually reserved so it's on one side instead of just everywhere. They also have, I've circled here, the search function. So instead of having an archive page where everything is just sort of sitting on there and thrown together, they have an area where you can search by date or you can search by topic or who you're looking for, what movie star or celebrity. So the search function here is definitely more high-tech and updated and seems to make more sense than Media Takeout's. They also, on PerezHilton.com, have their social media and social networking widgets on the site, but it's a little more put together. They have an icon here and you can see specific posts on their Facebook and tweets, and you can see users who are currently active. So they have pictures, it's bright and user-friendly, and you can see what's going on. You don't have to just click a link and wonder where it's taking you. Here's another site, comparable, it's TMZ.com, and you can see right away that the search function is at the top, so you can search through the archives, and you don't need to go to that page where everything is just sitting there. And this website is also colorful. It also has a big icon at the top, and though it does have advertising in separate areas, it's not as big and bold, and it's sort of still set out of the way so you can still see the main story. Also, they have little blurbs of the story, which also PerezHilton.com has, and you don't have to just look at the title and click on it. You can get a little sample of the story before you read it. Finally, here's a better look at TMZ's advertisings on the side. They like to put them in between videos and stories so that it's not just a wall of advertising, which is the same way that Perez Hilton does it, but different from Media Takeout. So Media Takeout could probably learn from these two sites, from their usability and just their user friendliness. It's definitely not as updated and high-tech as these two sites. It makes them look, or they make it look a lot less sophisticated because it's a lot simpler. However, there are pros to being simple. It's really easy to just go through and read each story on Media Takeout. Even if you just click on the headings and read them, you don't have to scroll through a lot of pages like you might need to do on TMZ and Perez Hilton. You don't need to go to the third or fourth page to get all your current news. It's all on one page on Media Takeout. So if you're looking for something very simple, Media Takeout definitely has the edge there. But overall, I think that it doesn't quite measure up to other gossip sites, and it has a lot of work to do if it's going to ever measure up. They need a lot of design help to make it more approachable and maybe more interesting. They need a lot of help with spacing out their advertising, and they need some help with their archiving page, definitely, because it's definitely chaotic and confusing. So there you go. That's the overall impression of Media